Hi everybody, this is Ollie Cantos here, and for this installment of the Visionary series, I'd like to talk with all of you about something that you've heard in childhood, where they say, "Hey, watch your language." As we all remember when we were kids, that happened because we ended up saying some bad word that wasn't a good thing for little kids to say, that sort of thing. But you know, the phrase "watch your language" actually has a lot to do with adult way of speaking as well, because we need to be very careful about the language we use, not only in the ways that we describe our own lives, but also in what we say to ourselves when we think to ourselves through self-talk. It's important when we think about the things that we say to ourselves as well as to others, that we use the kind of language that optimizes positive ways of thinking and minimizes the impact of negative ways of thinking. And we've all heard that before, but I wanted to take this opportunity to tell all of you about some examples of things that aren't necessarily very direct, but which are very disempowering when it comes to the way that we say things to ourselves. Think about the way that you feel if somebody gives you an unsolicited compliment. Do you accept that compliment with all that it is intended to convey? Or do you instead downplay that and say, well, gosh, it's not really anything, or it's not that big of a deal, truly thinking that when somebody compliments you, that the extent of the enthusiasm behind the compliment isn't really necessarily well placed? If you're in a situation where you tend to downplay when people compliment you, or when you tend to feel uncomfortable if somebody decides to pay for your meal out of the blue, where you feel like it's some kind of imposition, or it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, well, why is this being done? I don't need anybody to do it, I can do it myself, that sort of thing. We have to be careful, because on a constant basis, we both give and we receive. We send out messages about what we think of ourselves, which attract what people think of us based on how we conduct ourselves. And by the same token, if we are not open to receiving the kind of positive experiences that can enrich our lives, and we deflect those experiences either by downplaying the positive complimentary words that people give us, or by not accepting the generosity of others, then we end up unnecessarily placing ourselves in a position where we end up not being able to experience life in its richness and fullness as we were intended to experience it. And so, at the heart and core of all of that is the language that we use when it comes to what we think of our own lives, and how we characterize our own lives, as well as the opportunities that come across our lives every single day. If we're not careful, we can end up repelling positivity almost insidiously without realizing the devastating impact that it can have on our lives, as opposed to when we embrace all the positivity that there is to offer and to receive in the world. And here's something that happens when we are in a positive mode of receiving. When we are knowing and believing that we are fully deserving of every success that comes to us, then we're open to receiving the kind of complimentary words and actions that literally help to propel us to the next level of existence within our lives. And this is not a hocus pocus, oh, think positive kind of thing. This is more a matter of the fact that we each govern our lives based on what we truly think about ourselves. And what we truly think about ourselves can be shown not only by what we say to others, but also and especially what we say to ourselves. Because if we're not careful, through negative self-talk, we could actually end up sabotaging the very success that we want and consciously crave. We're sort of like a rubber band when there's no pressure put on the rubber band. Ultimately, the rubber band will snap back into place to be whatever shape it is when there is no pressure brought to bear upon it. And we're the same way. If we are a particular shape of rubber band, if that shape, proverbially speaking, happens to be one in which we fail to accept the positive compliments of others or the positive deeds of others, or in which we fail to appreciate and truly be grateful for all that we have in life, then we end up wrongly causing our own failure. And it's a radical statement to say, but it's also the truth, that we can be and are often the cause of our own failure to get done all of the things that we want to get done out of life, and to experience our own failure to experience the kinds of things that we know that we deserve. But if down deep, even if we talk consciously about how we each deserve success, but down deep we don't believe that the success that we talk about is actually something that we personally deserve, then all of the success and all of the goodwill and all of the compliments and all of the wonderful elements that make up life and its positivity literally go right around us like water off a duck's back. We hear that saying constantly within the context of, well, if somebody says something bad to me, then I'll just let it ride like water off a duck's back. But it also actually goes in the reverse direction too, where if we shield ourselves with words, thoughts, and deeds that promote less empowering and more negative ways of thinking, then we literally repel positive words, acts, and deeds that could otherwise come to us, but that we ultimately end up missing, literally because it's like the positivity is like water off of our negative backs as ducks. And so I guess to stretch this analogy, we're either positive ducks or negative ducks. And so what kind of duck are you? I should probably not stretch that analogy any farther, but basically you know what I mean. But what kind of a duck are you? What kind of a person are you? Or as they say, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So what kind of duck are you? Are you gonna be the kind of duck where you really just let positively deflect around you, or are you the kind of duck where you let negativity deflect all around you? All of that, believe it or not, is not a digression, but it's actually to get back to the main point of how we are the ones to determine for ourselves the quality of our own lives based on the language that we use about ourselves. So going back to the original thing that I said at the beginning, hey, watch your language. Watch your language, literally. Some people may swear and people like me don't, but the kind of language that I'm referring to are watch your language regarding how you describe yourselves. Watch your language regarding how you think and characterize your own lives and daily opportunities. Watch your language when it comes to the ways in which you accept compliments or decline compliments, or the ways in which you accept the generosity of others or decline the generosity of others. And because we already are giving and receiving on a constant basis anyway, holy cats, might as well be givers and receivers of what's good and positive. I mean, why would we have any vested interest in doing otherwise? It's really not necessary. It's not as if someday there will be positive things that will happen in your life when you reach a specific point in your lives. It's not as if you're unhappy, then suddenly you get to a point of happiness and suddenly you're happy. It's more a matter of happiness being in the journey and not merely in the destination. And when you're happy in the journey, then whatever happens that comes along that might be negative or less than desirable or otherwise not pleasant at all, then the effects of those circumstances or events would be minimal, because as a positive person, you would naturally snap back to the person who you are, which is being positive people, if you're positive individuals. And by contrast, if you're negative, then every opportunity that could come right before you, that is literally right in front of you, will just pass you right by because you won't take advantage of it. And disguised as it's actually fear, that's disguised as being careful and prudent, you can actually end up throwing away a major opportunity for you to change your lives that you would have taken had you been more positive in the first place, based on how you characterize yourselves as being forward-looking individuals, as being the kind of individuals who experience life to the fullest every day, and as being the kind of individual who gratefully receives all of the blessings that life brings their way, your way. And so it's really a matter of choice, because at any given point in our lives, we can just fully take advantage of the richness and abundance of all of the blessings that life has to offer every single day. And even during the moments when there are blessings in our lives, of course there are challenges, absolutely. But are we going to live our lives based on just feeling like the challenges are insurmountable? Or are we instead going to live our lives believing that every single day has amazing, amazing opportunities just to do better? We can attract into our lives anything that we want. And that includes doing so by being careful of the language we use when talking to ourselves and the language we use when talking to other people about ourselves. That's literally what it comes down to. It doesn't mean that you simply think positively and everything is wonderful all of a sudden. So many people who don't understand personal development literature, they think that all we do is pretend that the negative doesn't exist, and then simply la 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 la, suddenly then things are just positive and everything could be just horrible around us and we just don't care because everything is positive. That is absolutely a mischaracterization of what personal development literature teaches. Instead, we know that within the context of all of the material out there within the personal development space, that it's a matter of what we focus on in our lives. It's not to say that there aren't aspects of negativity, but instead, when we fill our lives with so much positivity, the negativity that invariably does exist in our lives ends up becoming diluted because of all that we attract to ourselves, so that when the negativity happens, its impact is minimal. It's just absolutely incredible to think about the wonderful, wonderful blessings that are available to us each and every day. It's just incredible. And someday, when I talk with various of you, and especially as I get to know you as you join my team, I'll tell you some specific life examples of how so many wonderful things were happening, but at the same time there were so many challenges that happened at literally on the same day. We all have that. We all have instances in which we have challenges and we have things that where we wonder if we're going to succeed, etc. But again, it's a matter starting with the language that we use, and when we watch the language that we use, and we do so with a determination to consciously to control what we say, which then will have an impact on what we think, then you invariably would see for yourselves that it is in your best interest to be as positive as possible. And it's also important in that vein to stop and enjoy the little things in life. To stop and to count the many blessings that you have each day, and using your language to express gratitude for the things that you're grateful for every single day. And then in expressing the gratitude for all of the wonderful things that you have, here's the amazing thing that happens. You get more. Do you understand that, folks? You get more of what you're grateful for when you are in a state of gratitude, because you truly believe and are grateful for your many blessings. It's a powerful life secret. Why is it that people who seem to have so much seem to be getting more, and people and others who seem not to have as much, at times they end up losing what they have? Well, some of that time it's because of one's state of mind. I'm telling you, the more you are grateful for what you have, the more you will get what you are grateful for. And by literal extension of that, but within a slightly opposite, within a completely opposite context, if you gripe and complain about how life is so horrible, about how things are just really tough, then you know what? You're going to have, in case you haven't noticed, you're going to have more struggles and more obstacles and more worry and more unhappiness. Isn't that funny how that happens? That somehow, when it rains it pours, as they say. But yet, what if instead you decide, you know what? It's raining and pouring blessings. So if it rains, let it rain. Let it pour. Let the blessings pour into your lives. And that's for anything you want. Closer relationships, more money, a better career or more career advancement, more advancement with your respective businesses, whatever it happens to be. And that's all within your power, within your hands, literally right now as you're watching this on your computer. Literally, it is right within your ability right now for you to be happy. It's in your destiny to be happy when you choose that that's your destiny. You're not destined for failure or destined for difficulty unless you think that that's what you are. So if you think that you're destined for failure, then you are. If you think you're destined for success, you are. It's either way, you're right. So heck, you might as well, since you know that you can control your destiny based on what you decide your destiny to be, then go for it and decide right now that your destiny is to be happy. Not in the future, but your destiny is to be happy literally right now. Like in my particular case, I'm at Smoothie King, my favorite place to get smoothies in the whole world. And so one of the things of a small pleasure in life today is I'm going to enjoy this smoothie that I'm about to order. I'm not going to take it for granted that, oh yeah, it's another smoothie, yeah, whatever. But I'm just going to enjoy the fact that I can just buy and enjoy this smoothie that's great in nutritional value, and I'm a creature of habit. For those of you who have been around Smoothie King, there's this thing here called Angel Food, and that's strawberry banana, and I love the strawberry banana smoothie. That's what I always get but I always enjoy it every single time. So, sort of in the same way that I'm about to enjoy the smoothie once I order it and once it comes, enjoy the smoothies in your life within, this, using that as an analogy. Enjoy all the little things as well as the big things. And then as you do that, and as you just enjoy all of life's blessings, recognizing that you can be happy literally right now, you can be in a sense of eternal bliss right now, then the whole world is open to you. So for next action steps today, I want you literally to take the actions that I've said here, and the second thing is I'd like for you to click on the link below and join me in business. And as you do that, let me just order for a second here. So I'm literally going to have you stand or sit there and think about something while I order. Hi, can I have a large angel food, please?
Okay. Any extra?
No extra.
May I have your name?
Ollie, O-L-L-I-E, and I have a O-L-L-I-E.
I-E, okay. Payment down.
Oh, okay.
Give you receipt?
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, anyway, back to the action assignment. Thanks for indulging me for a second there. So the first action assignment is literally change your mindset, your way of thinking, recognizing that happiness is available to you now. The second thing I want you to do is click on the link below and get involved with me. And understand that by being involved with me and in our online marketing business, that we will show you how to build a successful business online when you follow the system that has been proven to work. So do that, and in the meantime, live life with happiness. And remember, everybody, besides clicking on the link below now, hey, watch your language. Take good care, everybody. I will see you soon. Click on the link below.